U.S. threats to unilaterally abandon long-standing international defense agreements are now generating an immediate and powerful reaction from our overseas allies. Facing explicit demands and a transactional foreign policy, European nations are actively advancing independent military structures, forcing the U.S. administration into rapid, erratic policy reversals. The clearest example occurred with Poland. The president ordered the withdrawal of 5,000 U.S. troops from the country, only to reverse that decision entirely less than 24 hours later. President Trump officially credited his personal relationship with the Polish president and the outcome of Poland's election for the reversal, treating a major military deployment as a personal diplomatic favor. This transactional approach extends to the State Department. At a recent meeting in Sweden, Secretary of State Marco Rubio publicly questioned the foundational utility of the NATO alliance. His specific complaint was that Spain denied U.S. forces access to its domestic military bases for unilateral operations in the Middle East. Former U.S. Army Europe commander Ben Hodges pointed out the flaw in this logic. NATO is a mutual defense pact, yet the administration is attempting to use it as leverage to execute independent, offensive operations outside the treaty's scope. European leaders are calling the bluff and drafting blueprints for a security architecture that does not rely on the United States. This chart compares the populations of these global powers, exposing the demographic reality driving Europe's shift. European leader Mark Rutte highlighted that Europe, including the UK and Norway, holds over 500 million people, while the US has roughly 350 million. With a clear numerical advantage over Russia's 140 million people, Rutte argued it is unsustainable for a massive 500 million-person economic bloc to remain entirely dependent on the United States for its conventional defense. Spain's Foreign Minister, José Manuel Albares, reinforced this by backing a dedicated European army. He noted Spain already allocates 2.1% of its government spending to defense capacity, framing this independent force as a necessary complement to NATO. By treating alliances as transactional bargaining chips, the U.S. is rapidly motivating Europe to eliminate its dependency, dismantling American geopolitical leverage on the continent. Logistical and severe financial constraints are also making an isolationist strategy completely impossible for the U.S. to sustain. This data graphic visualizes the Pentagon's total THAAD interceptor inventory, exposing a severe depletion of advanced munitions, recently expended almost entirely in the defense of Israel. U.S. forces fired 200 THAAD interceptors during those operations. That consumed roughly half of the Defense Department's entire global inventory, along with over 100 SM-3 and SM-6 interceptors. This B-21 Raider is part of a proposed $1.5 trillion budget that pivots toward autonomous drones and a domestic missile shield. By prioritizing high-tech domestic assets over the replenishment of alliance-based munitions, the administration is signaling a move toward an insular defense posture. Treating a mutual defense treaty like a billing system for out-of-network operations has severely backfired, pushing Europe to accelerate its own military autonomy. As Washington burns through its own high-end munitions without a network of supportive allies, an isolated posture becomes a severe logistical liability.